If you're walking around on the streets of South Bend, Indiana in late summer, you might notice colorful banners adorning the light poles. They're part of the Festival of Banners, and each year the theme is different. And in 2026, the theme is ecosystems. To find out how the winners are selected and the process for entering and creating the banners and the event, I'm headed into the South Bend Museum of Art. So now I'm with Bella Santana, the engagement coordinator at Shirley Hines Land Trust. And the Land Trust was like the judges,
Yes.
right? For the Festival of Banners in 2026 for South Bend Museum of Art. Why did Shirley Hines Land Trust choose to get involved?
Oh, that's a great question. So we have been partnered with South Bend Museum of Arts for a few years now on our Nature in the Arts program, where we will do art activities outside at our nature preserves, free for the community. And so South Bend Museum of Art thought of us because the theme this year was our ecosystem. And as an organization that protects and preserves land, we are very focused on the natural world, plants, animals, and overall keeping our ecosystems safe, happy, healthy.
It's great.
So it was a good fit.
It was a perfect
Yeah.
fit. Was it hard to judge?
It was really hard to judge in the sense that it's hard to choose which one is best.
Yeah.
Because there is no best. It's all very subjective.
Yeah, and I imagine every artist came with a slightly different perspective and all ages. And
Yeah, I mean, different ages and different perspective, which I think is really interesting because to some people an ecosystem includes humans and our buildings and, you know, the things that make up everyday life that might not be considered natural.
Yep.
But to some people, an ecosystem is just, you know, a mountain and animals and plants. So it was really cool to see everyone's different take on
or interpretations of ecosystems.
Yeah,
Right.
that was really cool.
That's wonderful. Well, I think it's great that Shirley Hines Land Trust celebrating 45 years
45 years.
and protecting 4,000 acres
Yes.
had this wonderful opportunity. And of course, now folks are walking around downtown seeing all the beautiful banners, which is
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah, and it was really cool that we could help with that.
Be a part of it, yeah. So now I'm going to go talk to Colton Sizer with the museum and get a little bit more about how the program works and how people are sending all of their beautiful art. But
Perfect.
thank you so much for being a
Yeah.
part of the project.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
it was my pleasure. So yeah.
Thanks. Colton, we are loving this museum. It's such a great asset to the community, and the Festival of Banners is a wonderful outdoor aspect of the museum. I just chatted with Bella and why the Land Trust got involved with judging, but can you tell me a little bit about the history of the festival, how long it's been going on?
So it's one of those things where we've been doing it so long that I can't tell you exactly how long, but I can tell you it's been at least 15 years. In the past, we've transitioned quite a bit. So we actually used to paint the banners by hand. So people would submit their designs. They'd actually have to come in and paint it. Around COVID, we switched that up, a large part just due to the amount of time, the participation from the community, because anyone that didn't come in, we'd have our residents paint, which is actually, I was a resident here at the museum, so I was one of the ones having to help paint all of these.
Painting of the banners.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
So it's grown a lot. I would say 15, 20 years we've been doing it now. And it actually started from a key donor, Jerry Toma and Meg Oth, who had gone overseas and seen a festival where there were these giant banners, like a giant festival of banners in overseas. And so it was their way of bringing it here and sharing art with the community.
Right, great. And we'll talk a lot about how people get involved and what the theme is, but we should go see the banners. So
Absolutely.
Shall we head outside?
Of course.
All right. Colin, as we're walking the streets, the banners are hung on multiple streets here in downtown South Bend, right?
Yeah, so they are on Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard. They are on Main Street, they're on Michigan Street, and all the streets in between.
Nice, okay. How many entries were there this
So
year?
approximately 200. I think the final number was about 189, with
Okay.
89 banners being selected and hung around town.
89. That's amazing. And there's like different age categories, right?
Yeah.
People can enter even if they're youngsters or adults.
Yeah, so the goal of the exhibition is that it is community forward, so anyone can do it. That being said, we like to group them by age so that you never have an adult entry getting picked over a child's entry.
Okay, that
So,
makes sense.
yep, so we have a youth, a teen, adult, and then we also do, when we do awards, we also do a museum pick, mostly because the people at the museum really love getting involved
Sure.
and they want to have a say too.
Sure, absolutely. That totally makes sense. And it's such a nice, colorful addition. The theme this year is our ecosystems, right?
Yes.
So, how do you pick a different theme each year? How do you pick the theme?
So in the past, I think that it was kind of this mix of what are we doing at the museum? What are we really trying to push, especially educationally?
Yep.
So this year, what we did differently was we kind of looked at some of our partnerships and what we were doing. And for the past 3 years, we've, since 2024, we've partnered with the Shirley Hines Land Trust. And
Yes.
so I had the idea, what if we tie it directly into that with nature and the arts and do something that not only fits what we're trying to do, which is celebrate our city and the art and our community, but also what the Shirley Hines Land Trust is trying to do.
Excellent. So, this was the first time you partnered with a nonprofit like Shirley Hines?
I don't know if it's the first time we've done it. So every year we do have a judge. It's just
Yeah.
different. So we've worked with Fire Chief Carl Buchanan in South Bend, the police chief in the past. So we always find a judge for it, and we may have partnered with nonprofits in the past. However, I think this is the first year that we actually catered the theme towards the nonprofit as well.
Fun. And here's one of the banners right outside of Cafe Navarre. And what I like this is a ecosystem that's very urban, right? I see looks like the bridge over the East Race, maybe?
Oh yeah.
It's so cool. Very pretty.
It's always interesting because when we put it out, I always get a ton of questions. You can imagine, like,
yeah.
what counts? What is this? And
What?
I always put it out there. I want you to be able to explore it. And people asked, well, could there be people in it? And I was like, we're part of our ecosystem.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like somebody's fishing maybe. So that's fun. Let's keep walking here because I see a bunch of them down here. All right. I see another one up here. It's really fun. Oh, it's great. I have my binoculars. It's great to, I can see all the detail, but this one's nice and big and bold. Looks like a mallard on the nest, right?
Oh yeah, and I think that was a great part. We had so many people telling us that they made their entries by actually observation, because sometimes
good.
with our themes, we did a heroes and leaders one, so people were pulling a lot of imagery from the internet. This actually allowed, this theme, our ecosystem, allowed people to go outside and actually draw from life and look around and spend time out in nature, which is exactly what we want them to.
Your part of your goal was. All right, let's go check out this one. This one looks interesting down here too.
Yeah.
Now this one to me looks kind of black and white-ish, which makes me curious about the media. Are they all paintings or?
We have just about every medium that you can think of that's 2D, maybe not so much in the printmaking category, but this one was actually made by one of our high school residents this year as well. And so it's a drawing, as you can see, of some mushrooms. Looks like there's a tree or some wood there as well. But yeah, definitely a drawing, probably charcoal or graphite for this one.
Okay. And how do people, let's kind of head back this way. How did people, or maybe we should go look at that one because that one looks really cute. Let's go here.
Absolutely.
How do people then submit the entries to you?
So when you go to our website, there is an opportunities page, and on opportunities, it takes you to our submittable page. And on there, it actually has the different age groups. So it'll say Festival of Banners 2026 with the theme, our ecosystem, and then it'll say youth, teen, adult.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this is charming.
Yep. This looks like a youth entry. I mean, as you can see, really exploring. And it's, it's nice because even though it is definitely a youth entry, there is a nice depth happening.
There
They're putting hills
is.
in there. By them, like, who would have thought to put the underground with the
The
worms and everything,
burrows,
the
I
birds at
know.
the
And then
top.
South Bend on the side. That's
Hmm.
so wonderful. What a delight. They are really great. All right. I know when I talked to Bella, she said it was really hard to pick the winners,
Hmm.
but everybody's a winner, right? They get to, like, when their banners are hung, that's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, and it's great because, like I said, this not only brings us together as a community. Everyone that participates, whether you make one that gets to be shown around town, or you get to be one of our 4 major winners, you're still a part of this exhibition. You still took the time to put them together. We wish we could show them all,
Yeah.
but we're always limited a little bit by the city, who's one of our partners. Another great partner we have in this is Equal Press, who actually helps us in printing all the banners, because you have to imagine we have 89 banners to print and a pretty quick turnover.
Yeah.
So
they print them, and then the city of South Bend actually hangs them on the light poles. Right?
yes, yep,
So
they hang them for us.
Great partnership. You mentioned the winners,
Yes,
which I believe are right outside the museum. So what if we head back that way
of course. Yeah,
and
we put
take a look at those?
Yep, we put the 4 winners on the corner here of Washington and MLK, right outside of the museum. It's kind of like the prestigious placing for those 4 winners. So each on the 4 corners.
All right. You mentioned that people can submit, any kind of art, flat work, whatever. But once they submit it to you, how does it get from that to that?
So it's a little bit of a process. So we take all of our submissions and we actually have to edit them down. And so we create a template that everyone can make. They don't have to use it, but they do have to submit it in a certain size. That way we can take it, put it into a photo editing software, cut it down. Then we actually make a template with the banners, and we have to do it for each one. So each one we have to separately make each file for. So it takes us about 2 days of 2 people working on it just to go through them all. It's why we really push when people submit that they do, it's better to always scan them in or to take a really good picture, because if it's, at an angle or something like that, some stuff might get cut out.
Oh, okay. As you kind of crop it to
Yeah.
fit the proportions, because they do all need to be the same
Oh, yes.
size proportion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So some people are able to scan them in.
Yes.
Some people just send pictures. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I do love that fish jumping over the dam. That's so
yes.
fun.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And the
Yeah.
park behind it again.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's walk down and see the winners.
Of course.
Oh, and I love that this ecosystem banner includes the dome at Notre Dame, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a great opportunity for people to talk not only about like us as people as an ecosystem, but what we create and put in our ecosystem.
Right. Because everybody's ecosystem, at least from their experience, can be different. It might be urban, it might be really natural, it might be wooded, it might be water-based. So it's really fun to see all the variety
Yeah,
of ecosystems.
I think it's always every year. It is wonderful and also just encouraging to see how people take the theme into different ways. Every banner is completely unique. And to see that not only that people are thinking about it in different ways, but are also taking their own stamp of their personal experience, their personality, and putting it into their designs is absolutely wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah, so this is our museum pick winner. It is probably one of the most unique banners for a couple reasons. For one, when we selected it, we had no idea, but it's actually made by Corvilla Bremen, so another nonprofit group, and it was a group effort. So over the course of the submission period, they all worked together to make this. And not only is it just a beautiful design that works really well, and we love the idea of a group participation. We don't know how much we've ever had that before.
Yeah, what a clever idea. And what I love about it is there's a campfire, so you can tell that people are interacting in this ecosystem.
That's exactly
without
what I was
actually
gonna
having
say.
people, which is cool. And brilliant, there are peonies, which is the state flower of Indiana. And I also see tulip tree leaves and flowers, which is the state tree of Indiana. So how clever is that? And that path just makes me want to walk in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love
What a
the
great job they
interaction.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Now, across the way,
Mm-hmm.
I see sunrise, sunset over there. That's really pretty. What's that one?
So I think that is our youth winner. It has a nice silhouette of a bird in a tree with a sunset over a body of water. And as most of us in this area know, we either think of the St. Joe River with a heron in it, or we think of Lake Michigan. And so, it had a couple different connotations to it, which is absolutely great. And at the same time, for a youth entry, there's kind of this nice courage that comes from just silhouetting and having this dark area right in the foreground.
Right.
Really, really nice work and really advanced for the age group.
That's wonderful. Okay, and then over here on this side, I don't know if we can maybe back up. I can see that a little bit better. This one looks a little more complex, right?
Oh yeah, this one definitely is our teen winner. And just honestly, it blew our mind when we saw it. It was one of those ones where if it hadn't won for the teen pick, it probably would have been our museum pick. Just a wonderful composition. It's both an ecosystem that we could see here in our region, and also someplace we would just want to go. Like, it makes me think of camping in the summer or something like that.
Which, here's a question. Can they only enter if they're from South Bend, or
Nope.
what's the geographic range that they can enter from?
So we try to think of it kind of like we do with our Scholastics Art Awards. So we cover 19 counties. So as long as you realize that the work's being hung here, we had people from Michigan City submit this year. We have people submit from Argus as well. So we do have a pretty wide net for it.
So now I want to go over and let's check out the adult winner, which is kitty corner to this corner, and we'll walk the crosswalk. So
sounds perfect.
This is obviously not painting, not drawing. This is really unique as the adult winner, right?
Yeah, so it looks like it's a collage piece. You see yarn in it, maybe some fabric, some differently mixed media happening. A really phenomenal entry, just like the Corvilla. You're having this idea of interaction. You're creating a space, though. There's a whole narrative happening, a whole story.
Definitely.
In just this one image. It is truly phenomenal piece, and this is our adult winner this year.
Adult winner. How are the winners recognized, the ones that are here on this corner?
So the first Friday in August, we do a big ceremony where we actually recognize everyone that participated. Whether your work was submitted or not, you can come out, and we recognize everyone for their hard work. We have the Shirley Hines Land Trust out for everyone to come and talk about how you selected the work. And then the 4 winners get recognized with a certificate, and then everyone can come out and see their work.
And walk around, which is first Friday obviously is a perfect time to look at all of the banners, but how long do the banners stay up each year?
So 2 months. So we're right around the same amount of time an exhibition here at the museum stays up.
Okay, so people have time. Usually they go up in mid-August-ish, and then are up all the way through
September 5th. Yeah, so it's about July 15th to September 15th.
July,
so right in there.
Okay, great. So much fun. Well, again, if people are looking to get involved maybe in future years, tell us again how they can find out information if they want to submit an entry.
Yep, so you go onto our website and you go to our opportunities page, and it will have the festival banners theme listed there. The submissions usually open up around February, so February 2027. And this year, we're very excited. We're going to be partnering with Corvilla because we had no idea they were even participating this year. And they wanted, after being a part of it, they want to be our juror next year.
So they will be the 2027 judges,
yes.
Right? That's so exciting. That'll be delightful for them too. That's
yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for all you do on many levels, highlighting and showcasing local artists and their expertise and talent, which is wonderful. And especially thanks for doing the Festival of Banners each year and beautifying the city streets. It looks great.
Hey, thank you for everything. Thank you for not only partnering us with this, but Nature and the Arts. And we're really happy that we were able to spread some recognition for your amazing organization, but also, bring awareness to our ecosystem.
Yeah, that's great. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Remember, you can find your own outdoor elements when you visit area parks and natural areas. We'll see you soon.